I'm gonna go ahead and apologize now for this terrible lighting, but it's what we have to work with, so we're gonna have to deal with it. But hi, it's been a heck of a week. I was meant to be vlogging this whole week, and it's now Thursday, and I'm just now vlogging, but that's okay because I have some weekend plans, and that's gonna probably add up to this vlog. So I'm super excited about that. I feel like it's gonna be a good one. But hi. So this morning I'm going to Beckland's and Frank's house to get the girls, the two oldest girls, because they are on spring break and their mom and dad are both working. So they needed a babysitter, and I stepped in and was like, you know what, let me help out. Let me be the babysitter because I love those girls really, really much. I really do. So we are on the way to pick them up. I'm gonna switch cars with Beckland, and she's gonna have my car and I'll take her van. And I think I'm gonna take the girls to the Children's Museum and then maybe to Target, because I feel like I've convinced myself to pick up a copy of Abby Jimenez's new book. I'm trying not to, but I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. So if we don't go to Target, it's because I've talked myself out of buying it. But we're gonna figure out something. They'll either go to the Children's Museum and then the library, or we might walk around Petco, which is basically a free zoo, if you ask me, because we just walk around and the girls love looking at the different animals. So yeah, and it's just all around a good time. But the big thing is that Rachel's readathon starts today, and I'm so stoked about it. I am still in the middle of the cheat sheet, and I think I have like 100 pages left, maybe a little over that. So I think I'm only at an hour of the audiobook. So I'm gonna listen to that on my drive to pick up the girls and on my drive to work, and hopefully I'll be almost pretty much done by then. And then I can go ahead and get into my readathon reads. First book I think I'm gonna pick up is Falling, but we will never know. So let's just go get these girls and get this day started. Peanut butter, what we doing? Say hi. They were getting lots of cuddles from Mom tonight. Well, I officially finished the cheat sheet at the boys' house tonight before I left work, which was at like 7:30. Came home, ate some dinner, and I've just been kind of chilling, relaxing, and I need to get to reading because we're almost through the first day of Rachel's readathon and I've yet to pick up a book. So we're about to start Falling by TJ Newman. I don't have anywhere to be in the morning. I do have to go to pick up the boys from school, but then I get to come back home after that because the boys' mom just needed me to pick them up and drop them off. I don't know how long the audio is for this book, but the book is only like it's less than 300 pages. So I have nowhere to be. It's 9:42, so I'm hoping that I can like just read a ton tonight. So let's get started. Okay, we're on day 3 of Rachel's thriller readathon, and I just now finished my first book, and I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that. But I finished Falling by TJ Newman. I really enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was really well written, especially for a debut novel. And it was suspenseful and like hard to read, but also fun to read. And I'm just glad that I finally picked it up after all this time. And I'm excited to pick up the next one once I, actually buy it. But I think I'm gonna give it like 4 stars because I don't know, I feel like it would have been better if not everything kind of wrapped up in a very good way. Like, yes, there were still people that died, there were still, things that went on, but to me, I was just like, everything kind of wrapped up too easily, in my opinion. And if it wouldn't have done that, then I think it would have been a 5-star read for sure. But I do think it was so entertaining. I mean, like, it sounds bad when you say like reading a book about terrorists taking over a plane sounds entertaining, but the way she wrote it, it was like after every chapter I had to keep reading. I couldn't stop reading just because, you know, I hit the next chapter. So anyway, we're moving on. But I highly recommend reading that, especially if you like short chapters, if you like being on the edge of your seat, if you like cliffhanging chapters where you're not going to be able to put the book down. I highly recommend that one. And it is like a thriller series, so I don't know what's going to happen in the next book, but I'm interested to see what it could be. So now I'm going to go in to reading The Clinic by Cate Quinn. I switched out Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh because I need to get The Clinic read by Tuesday for my Patreon book club like live discussion, and I was like, I'm not gonna have enough time, so I had to switch that one out. But I'm gonna start that today. I'm already 30 pages in, but I still don't understand like what's going on, so I still have a lot to read. But the goal is going to be to read some of that, and then I'm going to start Layla by Colleen Hoover and try and finish that before sprints tonight at 7. It's almost 1 o'clock. I think it's like 12:30ish, so it's almost 1 o'clock here. I'm going with my dad now to pick up some stuff for supper tonight, and I need to get some like cat litter and probably an energy drink to hold me over for the rest of the weekend. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'm gonna come back and read. I do need to film my spring recommendations video today, so hopefully that won't take up too much of my time, and I can just, you know, film it and then edit it tomorrow. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But hopefully I'll be back with another update of being in the middle of my next 2 reads. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is really just a chaotic kind of vlog. It just kind of tapered on and off to where I was trying to do too much at once and I kept forgetting to take vlog clips. So I just want to say for in the future, I will be doing better about that and making sure that I vlog every day and just get little things, like even if it's little updates, because I feel like I did really terribly at updating you guys on what I was reading, but I was just, I think, so focused on the readathon and like trying to get things done. But I wanted to come on here and do a little wrap up and just tell you guys how the rest of the week went. So as y'all know, last Thursday Rachel's readathon started for her birthday, and it was the thriller readathon, or the Nobody No Crime thriller readathon, and she had different prompts to cover it. So the first book that I read was Falling by TJ Newman, and this covered my isolated setting prompt. I think I read this in about a day. I think I read maybe like 100 pages the second day or something. I'm not really sure, but I thought it was really good. I gave it 4 stars. To me, it was very suspenseful, more than thriller-ish in my opinion. And there were a lot of characters mentioned, and I felt like they could have done without mentioning as many as they did. I feel like there were some that were kind of unnecessary and I just didn't care about. And also, I just thought that the ending wrapped up way too nicely, in my opinion. I thought that it would be more of a cliffhanger, or maybe something else was going to happen, and it was just that didn't happen, which I'm all for a good ending, but I felt like this one would have been really good with maybe not as good of an ending as it had, or as nicely put together, if that makes sense. But I did give it a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to pick up the second one, and I will be doing so at some point soon. Then after that book, I started The Clinic by Quinn. This one was specifically for my Patreon book club for the month of March, and I was having Jan from Readathon join me on Patreon, which was so much fun. We got to talk about this book. She gave it a 4 star, and she talked, you know, she really commits me to keep my rating at what it was. So I gave this book a 3. I thought it was pretty good, but it also, I think, could have been better. There were a few things that I did not see coming and a few things that I was shocked by, but for the most part, there were a lot of characters that I just did not care about, and I didn't really connect with any of them. So that kind of hindered my rating a little bit. But also, I gave this book, one of the 3 stars came from the fact that this was the first book that Quinn wrote sober, and after going through rehab and different things, I think that's a really brave and just courageous thing to do, is to get back into writing and to share your story. And just like, she took her story and ran with it and added, you know, thriller aspects and different things like that, and just did her own twist on it. But I did enjoy this for what it gave. I don't know, I needed something more. And this one counted for my new release prompt and the good for her / revenge prompt. The next one I read, I think I read in one day. I think. If I didn't, it was pretty close. I either read it in one day or 2 sittings. I can't remember. But I read Layla by Colleen Hoover, and this one was covering my favorite trope prompt, which was a psychological thriller. This one was super good, super fast paced, and really intriguing. I feel like from the first chapter to the end, I was hooked, and it was just one of those books that you felt like you couldn't put down. And this one I have been meaning to get to for a while now, so I'm so glad that Rachel hosted this readathon and I was able to participate and get some like books that I've been wanting to read, which was really nice. This one threw me for a loop. For the longest time I was very confused. I was sending Liv my theories and just like, I don't know what's going on, but this is what I think. And I was actually pretty proud of myself because I did call like a big thing in the book. Not all the way, I just put something out there and it was partially true. So I was very excited about that. I still really enjoyed this. I thought that it was perfectly done. I liked this one even better than Verity, so I ended up giving this one 5 stars. And that's all the books that I read, but that did put me in a thriller kick, and so now all I want to do is read thrillers and, you know, just keep going with those and enjoy them. And so I've already started some more. I actually went to the library during the readathon or right after the readathon and picked up a few thrillers. The first one I picked up is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. This is all about a film crew is following this girl named Annabelle, and her mom went missing when she was like a few months, or maybe, I think she was like 2 years old or younger. She was young, and her mom went missing. She literally like vanished and disappeared because they like explain why, but all of a sudden her mom pops back up and is like, hey, this is what happened to me, but her stories aren't matching up. And so I don't know what this book is going to entail, but a few people that I trust with recommendations said that this one was really good and they enjoyed it. I did try A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, and I didn't really vibe with it, and I really want to try it out again. So I'm hoping that after reading this one, it will put me back in the mood to pick that one up. And the next one is the second in a series. I don't believe you have to read the first one. It would just give you a little background on the setting and maybe how the school is run. But I picked up The New Girl by Jessie Q Sutanto. The first one in the series is The Obsession. I read that last summer for Summerween, and I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars. It was a really good YA thriller. It was more like a YA thriller / horror, and I really enjoyed it. But this one is following a completely different girl going to the same school, and I don't really know what happens besides like a dead girl pops up out of nowhere, and there's like this teacher who has it out for this girl named Leah, who was our main character, and Leah's just trying to get through the school year, but she's discovering some things that she didn't know was true about this school. And the front says she's a liar, a cheater, a murderer, and it's only her first semester. So I am super stoked about this one. I love Sutanto's writing, so I have no doubt that she's gonna pull my attention again with this one. Another book that I picked out a lot, you guys, so don't judge, but another one I picked out is Royal Blood by Aimee Carter. Rachel actually recommended this to me. She read this one. I think the second one just came out, which is called Royal Scandal, and I think there's gonna be a third. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm super excited about it. This one is following our main character, Evan, and she is an illegitimate child of a British king, and so she is forced to go to London to spend the summer with him and his family, who aren't thrilled that she's a, that she's a person. They are not thrilled that she's an illegitimate child, obviously. And so somehow the secret comes to light, and everybody figures out that that's his daughter, and it just starts a big mess. And so something happens to where Evan finds herself the suspect of a murder, and that just sends a lot of, scandal and rumor around the monarch family and everything, like the monarchy. So it sounds like a really cool thing. I think if you like learning about the monarchy, or if you just like keeping up with the royal family, maybe you would enjoy this one. But it sounds really good, and I'm excited. So I have no doubt that Rachel is giving me a good recommendation. And I promise this is the last one I'm picking up, and that is Day One by Abigail Dean. She wrote Girl A, which I read I think 2 years ago, and I really enjoyed. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was amazing. It's definitely very different and not as like thrillery, more suspenseful and more just kind of emotional and hard-hitting, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen with this one. But I just really love her writing style and the way that she tells stories, so I'm hoping that this one is going to give me the same feelings I got when I read Girl A. So that's everything I read and everything I picked up during this week. Again, I'm so sorry that it's kind of been a chaotic vlog. I'm definitely going to be working on my vlogging skills as I'm learning how to do these weekly vlogs, but I appreciate you guys so much for sticking around and watching. If you participated in Rachel's thriller readathon, let me know down below what your favorite book that you read was. I think mine was definitely Layla, and I just can't wait for her to do another one of these in September. But again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one.